Before we get started with the video, make sure to go ahead and vote in the online simulation for politics on X in this hypothetical 2036 presidential election. Make sure to vote Republican on the top of the ticket and on the down ballot races as well. The link will be in the description to the Google link down below. Make sure to put your X account handle in the first question for your vote to count. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video with On Point Politics. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. Looking at this meeting between Trump and Zelensky, you had a pretty fiery exchange between these two world leaders due to the Ukrainian-Russian conflict overseas. Donald Trump ran on a promise to stop this war in the 2024 election 24 hours after he was elected. However, that seemingly did not work out, and he is trying to now hash out a deal between the two parties in order to stop people from dying. However, Zelensky came to the White House with a certain attitude that the former president, or now the current president, sorry guys, I haven't been doing as many videos, and the current president, is now having an exchange with Zelensky, and Zelensky is bringing attitude to the White House that is not necessarily a very appealing to the current president right now.
The United States of America, and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred.
Now you got people spinning that and saying, Trump is trying to be a Putin sympathizer, but that's not what's happening. If Trump, and Trump even said it himself, if Trump were to vehemently side with one or the other, he wouldn't be able to make the deal in order to stop the war, period. If he talks crap about one party or the other, regardless if it was Zelensky or Putin, he wouldn't be able to make the deal. And he even says, I can't be saying bad things about Putin and be like, hey, how's the deal going? Which is true. I mean, you can't really be this mediator of, world peace if you're going to be talking crap about one side or the other. That's why Putin decided to invade Ukraine, because the Biden administration and President Biden himself had been saying bad things about Putin. Now, we can all have our opinions about Putin, but at the end of the day, in order to accomplish what Trump is doing, you cannot express your sentiments vehemently for one side or the other.
And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But
so you see what he said there, right? Trump kind of noticed that, where he said, oh, God bless President Trump will stop him. So the reason why Trump in the True Social post went on to go say, hey, I feel like Zelensky's emboldened by us helping him to continue the war instead of using us to end the war to help save his country. And Trump at that point decided to kick him out of the White House, because Trump doesn't want to be the person or the entity that is used to fuel Zelensky's ego in order to continue the war. Because the Trump's goal at the end of the day, and also my personal opinion, is that this conflict should be over so that people can stop dying, regardless of who is at fault. It doesn't matter. This good guy, bad guy narrative in wars, I think is just really ineffective. I think both sides, in a war always have, parts to do with it. And I think at the end of the day, we are seeing a scenario where the president wants to help Zelensky finish the war, but Zelensky's ego is getting in the way from letting him just make a deal. And right now you're kind of seeing where Zelensky is getting emboldened with the United States possibly helping him again, or trying to frame it that way. And that's what Trump, kind of realized. And that's why Trump made that statement on Truth Social after this meeting was over.
During 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the.
And so what he's trying to say here is that, like, oh, I signed this deal with Putin or whatever, and these people a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden, Putin attacked. But the problem is they had also agreed to not join NATO. That was an agreement that the Ukrainians, I suspect, had made a while back, and Zelensky was breaking his end as well. And so that's why Putin felt emboldened with the incompetency of the Biden administration with the Afghanistan withdrawal. That's why Putin felt emboldened to attack Ukraine and take it, because he felt like the United States was not in a position to do anything about him attacking it.
Kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think
this is a big problem? He has had actual issues bringing people to fight for Ukraine, because it's already been it's going to be almost 3 years now since the war started, and it's just. People are tired of it, and he's down in the polls really bad. He's down by like 30 plus points in hypothetical matchups against his political opponents, but he won't hold the election because he's in the middle of a war.
Think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
Yeah, so this is the part where Trump kind of was like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean we're going to feel something? And even when I heard this for the first time, I kind of was like, what do you mean by that?
God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that's definitely true. You know, I mean, the United States has been backing Zelensky for a pretty long time, and he's just kind of sitting here acting like a spoiled brat, where he tells the diplomats, Marco Rubio, he has his diplomats tell Marco Rubio one thing, and then he goes around and says the complete opposite on national television. It doesn't make any sense.
This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said,
well, you haven't been alone, actually. You've done $350 billion from our country, and all of a sudden you're just saying that you were alone. This is the attitude of just being absolutely ungrateful. You know, this is just ridiculous. And then on Fox News, he's like, oh yeah, actually, yeah, you know, well, it's just completely unbelievable. This guy, oh, I've been alone, as if all his military equipment hasn't been ours.
Thanks.
You haven't been
in this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again, just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to
that is 100% true. I mean, yeah, if Zelensky loses the United States, I mean, that war is going to be over in like a week. Like, it would be done in a week. And so we're going to see how this plays out. But Donald Trump and JD Vance gave Zelensky the American smackdown and putting America first and not letting Zelensky boss the administration around, where he's just so used to asking for money and getting it from Congress. This is the kind of leadership that Republicans and independents voted for in the 2024 presidential election. I think this is going to really help with JD Vance in 2028. Make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe if you want more content just like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.